Begin right there. Yes.
Thank you. Well, I'm an investor, and my goals are financial independence. And I've been investing in real estate, and lately I've been investing in commodities and commodities futures. And commodities futures have a lot of charts and graphs and indicators that you use to try to tell whether the price is going to go up or the price is going to go down. And
does everyone have access to these charts?
Yes, everyone has access to these charts.
People should be doing better then.
Yeah, exactly. So, like this person here. So we all have access to these charts, and you can look at these charts and make a good case that it's going to go up or that it's going to go down. So I thought you might be a good person to ask for a little bit of help in figuring out whether the charts are going to go up or down.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, the reason we're mocking your charts is because indicators that are outside of you can't possibly give you the data or feedback that the guidance that is coming forth from within you will give you. And so when you say, which would benefit you more? In other words, do you find that at some times you would be benefited more if they go up, and at other times you would be benefited if they go down?
Yes, if I'm betting that they're going to go up, then I'm benefiting more if they go up.
And what action would you offer if you were betting that they were going to go up?
The action I would offer would be calling my broker and purchasing options or futures.
And if you were to offer that action in an environment of ignorance where you're just guessing, then what happens?
I probably have a 50-50 shot.
And you think it's that good?
I'm not sure.
And if you were to look down the road a little ways at what you want for your financial future.
Yes.
And if you were to create a scenario in your mind and fill it in with enough detail that it is really getting your juices flowing.
Right.
And if in doing so, you recognize that all that high-flying emotion that you get in your visualization means that you're not bucking the current, that all of the time that you were trading and winning and trading and losing and trading and winning and trading and losing, that you were creating a financial escrow that is yours, that has your name on it, that source is tending to and calling you toward. So as you realize that your experience in the market and otherwise, but in the financial world, that your experience has caused you to create something that is in the process of becoming. And that in this moment, as you are visualizing down the road, that your visualization isn't what is now making it happen, because it was your life experience that made it happen in terms of vibrational escrow. In other words, do you get it that when you ask, that's when it's done? Or do you still think it's not done till it ends up in your bank account? Financial independence means independence relative to money, relative to all things. I now make all of my decisions based upon other factors other than what it costs. I'm independent of that lackful vibration. I'm independent of any restriction relative to dollars. Whatever my mind can conceive, my dollars are there to support. That's financial independence, you see. And so as you realize that that financial independence is already there for you, it's done, and that your visualization isn't now what's making it done, your visualization is now what lines you up with it, then we say, stop reading those charts. Because those charts go contrary to your desire often. And when they do, and you believe them, you turn and buck the current, and you disallow yourself from moving as swiftly as you could toward what you are wanting.
Right.
This whole day today, we really like how it is sharpening and shaping and coming into focus for so many of you. Because what we're really talking about, and it is a question that was so articulately asked just a little bit ago, how do I know what to do from where I am? And we say, do what you need to do, but don't let your emphasis be upon anything that you're doing. Let your emphasis be upon the imagination that you're using as you look just slightly down the road in order to assist yourself in rendezvousing with what's already done in vibrational escrow. We get a little carried away in our intensity as we are trying to help you to know it's done and it's there and it's yours. You keep behaving as if it's not done and it's not there and it's not yours, when it is done and it is there and it is yours. And we understand when it isn't in your bank account that it feels like it's not yours, but it's yours. It's yours. No one else can take it away. It's yours. What you've dreamed is there for you, you see. Now you just have to find some way of letting yourself get there to where it is, which means whatever you have to do that makes you feel better. So if you read the chart and the chart gives an indication and it makes you feel uncomfortable with what you're doing, then do something different until you come into alignment. Do whatever it takes to get into alignment, which means do whatever it takes to feel better. Do whatever it takes to feel better. But while you're doing, start thinking more long range. And what you will begin to discover is you'll get an idea for something that will be so compelling that you won't care what the chart says. Your impulse will be so strong. And haven't you noticed that when the odds are really not in your favor and you're right, you win bigger?
Yes.
And so what do we just say with that? Let's get all of the juice out of that one.
Yeah.
So if the odds are not in your favor, meaning nothing that you could do in terms of action is going to net you any real result, but you can feel there's a stronger call. There's a stronger call of source. And so you're listening to this call rather than reading that. You're listening to this call because this call is over there where what you want is, you see. And when you listen to that call, you make the right decision over and over and over and over and over again.
So part of my source energy knows the answers to these questions.
Knows what you want and knows where what you want is and when you are most likely to rendezvous with it, and will give you the impulse. And when you think about what we said about co-creating is always about rendezvousing, and then you say, but this is a market that is moving all around, and we say, and so your quest is to rendezvous with it at the right time. So how would anybody ever learn the market? You don't. That's why no one writes a book that everyone can read and then everybody can win. That's why it's an intuitive thing, you see. And the way you intuitively understand what's best for you to do, you in relationship to your vibrational escrow, you vibe it out. You go with the flow of it. You go with the flow of it.
Right.
So if you were to call us nearly every day, don't, but if you were, but you can call us, just leave Esther out of it. If you were to call us every day relative to the same question, you'd get different answers depending upon what's happening, depending upon all of the things that are fluctuating. That's how good source energy is. That's what we meant earlier when we say some journeys are so easy to quantify, but other journeys are impossible to quantify when you're trying to use physical statistics. But before you can use your guidance system, you have to have a few things in place. First, you have to trust that your source energy knows not only what you want, but is where what you want is. You have to accept that. You have to accept that this is already done. Is that hard for you to accept? It is for most physical humans. When someone has cancer and we say, your wellness has already been achieved, that's hard for them to accept because they're not looking at the vibrational escrow. They're not looking at the vibrational essence, which always precedes all manifestation. They're looking at the current manifestation and proclaiming statistics and truth and facts and x-rays and laws and doctors are telling me that what is different than what I want to be. And we say, you got to get loose of that. You've got to realize that everything that is now manifested was at one time only a thought form in vibrational escrow. And if you can get fixated on vibrational escrow, then everything that you want as far as you feel right now is, and when it feels right now like it is, then it has to be really fast.
What does that look like, that our source energy already is what we're desiring?
What we mean by that is a person who is sick, the larger part of that person is well, and the source energy.
What is up, guys? Hold on, let me stop sharing my screen for a second. And boom, there we go. What's happening, everybody? I'm so super excited for another Woke Wednesday. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. Super excited, super excited. How is everyone doing? Drop what you are grateful for, right? How do we start these nights off? We want to start out with gratefulness, if that's even a word, being grateful. We want to give thanks, right? So let's go for it. I'm super happy and grateful now that I am happy, that I am healthy, that I am wealthy, that I am traveling the world, that I am living my best life, that I am a crypto millionaire. I'm so happy and grateful for my sister, for my niece. I'm so happy and grateful for my family, for my friends, for air to breathe, that I wake up every single day, for Shayna. You guys, most of you know Shayna. She's laying on my lap right now, being a good girl for now. So let's just pray that she's going to stay that way. But just be grateful for the ground you walk on. Just be grateful for the people in your life. If you show grateful that you are grateful, you're going to receive, right? So we cannot receive unless we give thanks for what we already have. And that goes above a lot of people's heads, right? Like, why would you be grateful for what you already have and expect to, receive things? Like, you have to just be aware of the things that you have now and be grateful because other people don't have what you have now, right? And the things you have now are things that you may have wished for before, right? So we don't really think about it like that so much. The things that we have now, for me at least personally, the things that I have now in my life, the way my life is, the way that my life is going every single day, is a life that I once dreamt about. And trust me, I am nowhere near where I want to be, right? Nowhere near where I want to be. But the life that I have right now is a life that I have dreamt about in the past, that in the past, that life wasn't imaginable to me. It was a dream. It was a vision, right? I really didn't think that my life today could be what it is from what it was back then. So when you put out into the universe that you are grateful for every single thing that you are currently going through, the universe is going to compensate you for that at a certain point in time. You may not know when that time is. It may not be in the span of time that you want it to be. You could be asking or wanting for something or, yearning for something and not even knowing like when this is going to come. That's why you have to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent with your asking. And we discussed this last week about how you ask for things. The way we ask for things are so, so important, right? Now, I don't typically pray, but there's a way that everybody does it. Everybody does it in their own way, right? But you don't want to ask you don't want to talk to God and be like, God, I'm in a situation right now. Like, I need your help. Please, like, get me out of this situation. No. That is like only utilizing what you have at all times, but only trying to utilize it when you're in a dire need. Only saying, I'm sorry, I wish I didn't do this, or, I promise I won't do this. No, you want to thank God every single day, or you guys know, I don't typically use the word God. I just believe in source energy, a higher power, but whatever it is to you, God energy, source energy, the universe, whatever that may be for you, whatever you call your higher being, you have to give thanks and be grateful every single day for what you have, because then you are not in the receiving mode. You will not be open to receiving anything else that the universe is willing to give you. And the universe is willing to give you everything that you want. Literally everything that you want, every single thing that you imagine or visualize up here that you want is already yours. It is already done. Like, literally, if you have a vision of something in your mind's eye, like, I want to be in this, I don't know, Lambo. I always use Lambo as an example. Like, I don't really know why, but just everyone just go with it. So if you think that, you envision it like you want this Lambo, but like you don't believe you can have it, you're not going to receive it, but it's already done for you. The contract is already put out there in the universe for you. The Lambo is yours. Now, on your part, it takes a little bit of action, right? It takes a little bit of flow. It takes a little bit of stepping back and getting into that receptive mode to be able to receive the things that you are asking for, right? So be grateful every single day for everything you have, every situation that you're going through, because we're not just going through things, we are growing through them, right? So every single thing that happens to us happens for us. And like I was saying before, we may not understand right now what that means. Like, if you are going through something right now, and I'm sure that there are so many people on this call right now, including myself, that are going through things. Life happens. Like, life just happens, and it's always going to happen. So there's always going to be a fork in the road, a speed bump, like some shit is always going to happen. But you have to be able to sit back and say, okay, I may be going through this, but there is a reason why. There is a bigger something out there as to why I'm going through this. Whether it's you're encountering a bad relationship, right? And you're like, why am I going through this? Why am I dealing with this? Why am I dealing with that? You may not know it now, but in the long run, source energy was teaching you a lesson. So everything is a lesson. Everything is a lesson learned. And I really, really wanted to talk tonight about intuition, right? And trusting within yourself and that gut feeling, right? So many of us surpass our intuition. We have that gut feeling about something, and then we totally put it off. And it's like, why do we do that? Why do we do that? Do you know that your gut is like the center of all of your health, all of your physical health, your mental well-being, everything? So when you have a gut feeling about something, it's almost like it's your heart, it's your soul. You have to listen to your gut. Your gut is telling you, your gut is literally like a phone cord string to your higher being, right? Like, we are all pieces of source energy, right? And your gut, when you get that gut feeling, that is the higher source, like, communicating to you, like, hello, we are telling you what's good. We are literally telling you what's good right now. Listen to me. Listen to your gut. And because we're physical human beings and we have a conscience and consciousness, we overthink and, eradicate every immediate feeling that we get. We allow our thoughts to surpass our feelings. And that's really not the way that we should be living. We should be living from the inside out. When you have thoughts or outside influences, coming into your life, whether that be a person, the media, anything, it's going to sway your judgment. And it's really, really hard to pull yourself back into listening to your higher being, to listening to yourself and trusting yourself. A lot of us are chasing something. And if we would just sit back and take a breather and take a second, we could find all of the answers right inside of us. Because as I said before, we are all pieces of source energy, right? So source energy is literally feeding us everything that we need to know. And we are so conditioned to think and feel and act and be and react a certain way to situations that we totally blow off our gut. How many of you have blown off a gut feeling? Like, how many of you have blown off a gut feeling? I have plenty of times. Screwed me over. Should have listened. Should have listened. How many times have you been in a situation where you in your head felt, probably not a good idea. This isn't going to be good. Or maybe it is going to be good. But you do the total opposite in your action and in your behavior. I am not the only one. I am not the only one. And then guess what? The gut feeling that you originally had was correct. The gut feeling that you originally had was correct. So, intuition. You guys know, for those of you who follow me, for those of you who have been on these calls before, we talk a lot about mental faculties and paradigms. I spoke a little bit about conditioning, right? So we all are born into this world with just the subconscious. Just the subconscious. We're not particularly conditioned yet. Now, there are some people out there that will fight me on that, and we could go deep into it, like, yeah, you're conditioned before birth and blah, 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 all this stuff. But for argument's sake, let's just start at birth. You typically are born with just a subconscious. So you are just a sponge. You are literally a sponge, just taking everything in. Your environment, your parents, your churches, your everything around you is influencing this subconscious mind. And every single thing that comes into your subconscious mind as a baby, as a child, is what becomes your mental conditioning, which is your paradigm. So when you're, and Bob Proctor talks about this, and he's said it before, for those of you who are Bob Proctor fans, rest in peace, but he talks about how, why do you think that you like the foods that you like? Why do you think that you like the foods that you like? Because your parents gave you those foods, because those are the foods your parents like, and that's why they gave them to you. So that's why you like them. And it's the same thing goes for their parents. Why do you think that your parents gave you that food? Because their parents liked that food and gave it to them. You are conditioned from birth to feel, think, and act certain ways and to believe certain things. And you're not alone. We are human physical beings. This happens. This is how it goes. But we are spiritual beings in this physical reality. So we have the ability to tune in, meditate, quiet our minds, and really connect with us. And really go back to what we are like before the conditioning, without the judgments, without the other people's opinions, without the media talking about God knows what on the news. I don't even turn it on. I refuse to turn it on. You start to come back to a place where you're grounded and you can really make interesting decisions based upon the fact that you aren't being influenced by anything. You're not. And listen, it is not easy. I practice this every single day. Every single day I practice going against my old paradigm, living in a flow state, living in the receptive mode. But there are things that happen in my life, as I'm sure all of you humans do, that pull you back in, and the old paradigm starts to sink in, and it's like, all right, girl, like, there's no way that you're doing this because this is what we believe. And this person can't be like this because this is how they typically are. Or this is how this situation is going to pan out because that's how it was before. But we have to stop relating our future endeavors and our current situations to our past. Our past paradigms are what keep us small. Our past paradigms are what keep us small. So the goal is to create your reality, which we do. It's just really tough for some people to grasp that you are in control at all times. You are in control of every single thing that happens in your life, whether you think that or not. You are in control. You are in control. You are in control of every single thing that happens in your life. Now, that is not such an easy thing to grasp. So that is why I love doing these calls. That is why you should literally like do the best you can to get in tune and in touch with yourself. Go meditate, whatever that means for you, going to the beach, going for a walk, sitting like a monk, like whatever it is for you. Meditation is different for everybody. So whatever it is to you, go do it. Quiet your mind's eye. And I am telling you, you will start to become one with source, and you'll be able to pull yourself in from situations that typically would allow you to just like react. You will be able to just respond. So there's a huge difference. When something happens in our lives and we just react, that is just your old paradigm. Like, we know what's going to happen here. We know, been there, done that. This is definitely going to happen the way it was, even though we're not even giving it a chance to be like, maybe let's think in the opposite way. What if it ended up like this? Or what if it went down this way? Because our old paradigms are creeping in on us, trying to pull us back in to that small mindset. And we are connected with God. We are connected with source. So we really have the ability to create what we want in our lives. We really, really do. We can create anything that we want. Our world, our reality has been created up here before anything. Right? So intuition, when you have that gut feeling about something, you literally just have to go for it. Trust yourself. Because in the grand scheme of life, guys, like literally, life can fucking suck sometimes. Like, we literally think, things happen to us and we're like, happen again. Shit, no. We have the ability to be like, I'm going to change that. I don't want that to happen to me again. And you have the ability to be able to be like, I'm not going to allow my past conditioning, my past paradigm to interfere in my present and in my future and what's going to be for me. So whatever it is that you want in your life, literally just think it, believe in it, and you can attract that. I'm telling you, like every single thing, if you guys were listening to the beginning of the call with Abraham, it's already done. Like everything that you want is already done. It's already out there for you. The Lambo that I always talk about that I don't have, but it's out there. It's mine. At some point, I will have it. It's not here right now, but if I don't believe that it's mine and that it's out there, I'll never have it. Right? So that goes back to the being grateful. We have to be super, super, super grateful for everything that we're going through or growing through, as I just said, in order to receive the things that we want. Right? So trust. You have to trust in yourself. I promise you, if you guys literally just like go to the beach one day and by yourself, go to the beach, just fucking sit there and just be with yourself. Listen to the ocean. You will feel so much better. You will be like, okay, I could feel like the oneness. And sometimes it's really hard to turn off that constant, like going, especially like if you live in New York, we are constant go. That it's always going, right? So when I first started meditating, I told the shaman that I was seeing, I was like, I don't know what you're saying because I'm thinking about a million things in my life right now. And he's like, just keep coming back, keep doing this. try, or don't try, actually. When you know, like, just flow, just be present, just be present. And like I say all the time, like, meditating doesn't have to mean like you're like a home, like, no, you don't have to be like in a room with a singing bowl and some candles, like a monk. Go to the beach, go for a walk, be with yourself. Sometimes that alone is the hardest thing because we are not conditioned to be okay with being alone with ourselves and with our thoughts, right? But the people who make it the biggest, the people who love themselves the most, are the people who don't allow the external to create their reality. They're not, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not shaped by their environment, or they don't allow their pre-shaping of the environment to co-create their future, if that made sense. A lot of the shit that I talk about, and like, excuse me, I curse a lot, like, it is what it is. A lot of the shit I talk about is Abraham. So if you guys don't know Abraham Hicks, I play it every single show before we start. It's the best. Like, it's literally just the best. If you're not into it, there's so many other ones. Like, just go listen to, not motivational speaking, but just go listen to people who channel, right? And it's hard to find really good ones. That's why I really, really love Abraham. Esther and Jerry Hicks are unbelievable. You know, Esther and Jerry Hicks are a couple, never meditated before. They ended up like meeting friends who were meditating, and you can go look up their story. It's not mine to tell, so I'm probably ruining it. But Esther, the wife, ended up meditating at home with her husband, Jerry, and one day just literally started channeling another being, like a fucking spirit. Now, this spirit wasn't just a spirit, it proclaimed itself to be, I guess you could say, God. We don't use the word God because it's just a universal, like, consciousness, right? That we're just a piece of. And they refer to themselves as they. And the things that they speak, you literally sit back and you're like, mind blown, mind blown. What is up? Let me just pin myself. There we go. Mind blown. So if you're trying to understand like the verbiage and like the things that I'm saying about like universal consciousness, and even just getting into meditating, like I said, it's really hard sometimes in the beginning. Just go throw on some Abraham Hicks, or like even just go throw on like a guided meditation, like what we're gonna do one in a little bit. It's 9:36. We'll do one in a little bit. I'm gonna wrap it up in a bit. But guys, when you stop flowing, you stop growing. Right? So if you stop flowing, you're not going to excel because you're continuously allowing the external to fuck your shit up. Don't do it. Stay in the flow state. Stay in the receptive mode. Like, literally, like Abraham says this, do whatever it takes to feel good. Do whatever it takes to feel good at any moment in time. It is not selfish to have self-care and like be aware of like, okay, I need to like maybe go get my nails done because I'm feeling a certain way and that makes me feel good. You know, I'm not saying to go become like a degenerate gambler or like utilizing external things to make you feel good. But I mean, I guess I kind of just did, but you guys know what I mean, right? So get in tune with yourself. if there's one thing that you can grasp from this call is like just trusting yourself, trusting your gut, getting into that receptive mode, that flow state, and really just not caring. Stop caring about everything else. Stop caring about everything else. Because when you continue to care about what this person thinks or how I should act or what I should eat or what I should do or and you're trying to like be a part of these social norms, you're not going to receive the way you want to, or at least not in a timely fashion, if that's, even a thing. Time is an illusion. That's another call for another day. But you know what, guys? If there's, again, one thing you can get from the call tonight is just trust full-heartedly, if that's even a word. Again, you guys know me. Just trust yourself. Trust your gut. When the universe speaks to you and you have that little voice in the back of your head, like, no, listen, or yes, this is it. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. Your intuition, I heard someone say this, I forget exactly who it was. I think Bob Proctor said it, but it wasn't him who actually quoted it. He quoted it from somebody else. When praying is when you speak to God, you're praying, right? But your gut feeling, your intuition is God speaking to you. So when you're praying, you're speaking to God. But when you get that little voice in your head or that feeling in your gut, that is God or source energy speaking to you. So don't take that with a grain of salt. Okay, guys. So with that being said, I love every single one of you for showing up every single Wednesday, supporting me, being there for me. If you want the video from today, I literally listened to it 100 times today because I'm so obsessed with everything. And like even the first time I heard it, I was like, I didn't even fully understand it. So I had to go back and really listen again. But we're going to do a meditation. But what I was going to say is I'll drop it in my channel. If you're not in my channel on Telegram, you can DM me on Instagram and I'll send you the invite. I just dropped it in the Telegram channel, the video from today, and I'm gonna start a meditation. As you guys know, like I'm in flow state, so I just literally go on YouTube and I just pick something random, and every single time it has something to do with what we're talking about. So Source, give us a good meditation for tonight. Super grateful and happy for this meditation. This is not it. Let me see. Guided meditation. We'll do 10 minutes actually. All right, guys, on IG Live, if you guys aren't able to get on the Zooms, DM me for the link so that you can do meditations with us. For now, I'm going to go. It's been real. Love you. Have a good night. All right, so for those of you on here, let's do... this is good. Let's do this. So if you haven't already, just get yourself in a seated position. Maybe turn the lights down, dim the lights, lay down, take some deep breaths, and here we go.
Take a moment and thank yourself for showing up. Showing up for yourself, your mind, your well-being. If you're joining me today as part of the Boho Beautiful 14 Days of Yoga and Mindfulness journey, welcome to day one. Let us begin today by simply taking the opportunity to check in with ourselves. Check in with how you're feeling right now in this moment. Give yourself permission to let go into the present moment. eyes. Let the heaviness release. Breathe in peace. Breathe in love. Breathe in light. Breathe in presence. Energy. Breathe it all in and let it go. Give yourself permission to be still, to soften, to surrender to the present awareness. Breathe in and let it go. Allow yourself to let the heaviness move downward through your body. And your feel the shift. Feel the weightlessness of your own heart. Just let go deeper. Relax your shoulders. And this time, guide your breath. This works into every